What's up guys? Today I'm going to be going over how to create a calculator. Okay, now what this calculator is going to do, it's going to prompt the user to enter a calculation, uh, enter a sign, and then enter another number, and then display whatever the user wanted the calculation to be. Okay, so we're going to start from scratch. Go to Visual Studios, create a new project, and then we're going to empty project, and let's name this for function calculator. Okay, now here we're going to go to our project, add new item, C++ file. Remember, we're going to want to include our library, so we're going to put include IOStream. We're going to want the standard cout, cin, and all the basic functions. We're going to want a main function, which is going to be the only function that's going to be executed. We're also going to want 4 functions, one that is going to do addition, one that is going to do subtraction, one that is going to do multiplication, and one that is going to divide our numbers. So we're going to use doubles because it's a better rounding estimation than using integers. Integers would just be a whole number, while doubles are decimals, which we can, our function would be more accurate than integers basically. So we're going to create 4 double functions, one called addition. So let's prototype it up here. And then it's going to take in 2 different doubles, double A and B, and it's going to add them together. So now let's just prototype the rest of the functions. This one's going to subtract 2 different doubles. This one's going to divide 2 different doubles. And last but not least, this one is going to multiply 2 different doubles. So here we're prototyping these functions, and now down below we're actually going to be building them. Double addition, and now what I want this to return is, I want this to return a double of whatever A plus B is. The reason this function is a double is because it returns a double value. So it really does depend what type of function you're working with. If you want the function to return an integer, then it's an integer function. If you want it to return a string, which is a word or a character, then you want it to be a string function. Same with a character function, which is just basically one character, not a word. It would be a character function. Okay, so we know that addition is just a plus sign. We know that subtraction is the same thing. We're gonna put 2 arguments into this function, and then we're going to return A minus B. Then we're going to put, let's do division now. Divide double A, double B. Return A backslash B. And then last, we're going to do multiply double A, double B. And then we're going to return A times B. Okay, now these values are going to be specific only for whatever function it's inside of. So if I, for example, if I change this to a C, then this would only change in here inside of this function. This is the only place it would matter. It would not matter in the other A or in the other A because these are all independent of one another. The only thing that gets executed for each function is whatever is inside of its brackets. And that's a really important concept. So I'm going to change this back just so we get, just for simplicity really. Okay. So now in our main function we're going to want to close our brackets basically. And then what are the things that we're going to be entering into the calculator? We know we're going to be entering a double. Let's call it number 1. We're going to be entering a double. Let's call it number 2. We're going to be entering a string. Let's call it our sign. And that's really all we need to get started. Okay. So let's enter a prompt to tell the user to enter in a calculation. So in order to do that, we're going to cout, and remember the arrows point towards cout. Imagine it as your screen, and we're gonna enter a calculation. And let's end that line. And then we're going to take the first number. So now the arrows point towards the variable because that's where the information flow is going. Then we're going to take a string. Let's call it sign. And then we're going to take a number 2. So you're probably wondering why I chose it to do in this specific order. Well, the reason why is because first it's going to ask us for the first number, then it's going to ask us for a sign, and then it's going to ask us for the second number. So that's kind of like me entering 2 plus 2, and then the program, what we want it to do is give us the answer of 4 at the bottom. So that's really the only reason I chose this specific sign to get the user input, or this specific order. So now we're going to want the function to be able to know which one of these functions do you want me to use. That's an extra brackets, should delete that. Okay, so there's a function that is basically just like English, and it's the if statement. So it reads just like English, and then you put a parentheses, and inside of these parentheses are going to be your conditionals. So basically, if whatever is inside of this parentheses is true, then whatever is directly below it is going to be ran. So what do we want to know? If our sign is equal to, and we put 2 equal signs because that's how, this is the way that we basically want to do it inside an if statement, because this is really an equal sign. What we're doing over here when we're assigning variables is really just like naming whatever that thing is and putting it in the address, but this is a real equal sign in C++. So now we're going to want to, if our sign is a plus sign, then we're going to want to call the addition function. And what numbers are we going to want as our parameters to add together? Number 1 and number 2. Okay. So now this is going to return a value, but it's not going to return a value onto the console screen. So what we want to do is we want to store this inside of a answer variable. So let's go here and create a double answer, and we're going to set answer equal to that variable. And now we can go here, and if our sign is equal to a negative sign, then we're going to want our answer to be subtraction. And then we're going to want to subtract number 1 from number 2. And let's just go ahead and do it for all the other ones. Okay, so what we're basically saying in this part of the code is that, let me put it in a comment up here, we are calling a function and setting the return value equal to answer, which is a double, based on what the value of sign is. So here, if the sign is equal to a plus sign, then we're going to store in answer the return value of the addition function, which is a plus b. If the sign is a negative sign, then we're gonna take number 1 and take number 2, plug it in as a and plug it in as b, and return number 1 minus number 2. Same for multiplication, they're going to multiply, and number 1 and number 2 for division are going to divide. Okay, so now we're going to want to print the actual answer onto the screen. So all we really have to do is to go here and print out our answers. So now if let's save this, let's build it, and let's see if we get any errors. No. And let's try out our program. So enter a calculation. Let's try 6 times 6. Oh, hold on. Let's try 6 times 6. There we go. And there we go. We get the answer of 36. So now let's go ahead and try that for addition. 5 plus 5, and each time you're going to want to press enter, because after you press enter it takes that value in for number 1, and then the next time you press enter it's going to take it for number 2 after sign. So after every value that you're getting a user input, you want to press enter. So here we should probably be more specific and tell the user enter a number, and then here we're going to tell the user enter an operator, and then we want to end that line, and here we're going to want to tell the user enter a second number, and we're going to want to end that line. Okay, so now here it should be more specific every time. Enter a number 5, enter an operator, plus enter a second number 5, and that's what this program is really doing. Okay, so let's see, that's really it for this video, guys. Next video I might be going into more into depth about each what you can do with functions. And one more thing I want to teach you guys is that sometimes you're going to see the if statement as else if, and then else if. Now this and just if statements are really the same thing. With this is basically saying if the sign is equal to plus sign, do this, else if sign is equal to this, else if sign is equal to this. The only real reason you'll probably see this more often is because it's a little bit faster for your computer to run, really, and it's kind of easier to read. And that's really it for this video, guys. Alright.